Many of you are going to disagree with me on this subject of Adam's battle and humanity, but it's just my take on a lot of things that I've studied over the course of months and years, and I've taken in the knowledge. And so I think it's time now to bring that knowledge forth and give it to you. So you take it for whatever it's worth to you and study and research yourself at what I'm about to say. The piece is called Adam's Battle and Humanity. And if you didn't know, Eve was really much wiser than Adam. She declined to reciprocate with word magic. She knew in her heart words were a two-edged sword. The whole area of conflicting opposites swept down on mankind. Adam learned in the hardest way every boundary line was a potential battle line. He was preparing himself for conflict, but specifically the war of opposites, the agonizing fight of life and death, pleasure against pain, good against evil. What Adam learned too late is where to draw that line, where the battle was to take place. Simple is the feat of how we live in this world of conflicts, opposites, and boundaries. Since Adam made clear every boundary line is a battle line in the human predicament. Since Adam was the orator of the firmer one's boundaries, the more entrenched the battle, the more we hold to pleasure, the more fear and pain, the more pursuit of goodness, the more obsessed with evil, the more we cling to life, the more terrifying death becomes. Humanity's issues is being obsessed with boundaries and the opposites created as humanity attempts to eradicate one of the opposites. We handle the measure of good and evil by trying to exterminate evil. We handle conceptual opposites by dismissing one of the other poles and trying to reduce the other. The materialistic tries to reduce mind to matter, while the idealistic tries to reduce matter to mind. The point is, humanity treats the boundaries as real and manipulate the opposites created by the boundary. Humanity never questions the existence of the boundary itself because opposites are irreconcilable separates forever set apart. The exact reason humanity is still stuck in the Adam and Eve complex. Still stuck because the question that still seems to exist is East and West is West and manipulated by each other. God and Satan, life and death, good and evil, love and hate, self and another are the names for night and day. Suppose that life could be perfectly enjoyable. If we could eradicate negative, unwanted poles of pairs and opposites, what would humanity become if we could vanquish pain, evil, death, and suffering, so that goodness, life, and joy would be abound, as so the ideal of many people's ideal of heaven? Heaven has come to mean not transcendence of all opposite, but a place where all positive halves of the pairs of opposites are accumulated, while hell is the place where we are masked of all the negative halves. Pain, suffering, torment, and humanity lives in it in that now moment. There's no true evidence after centuries of waiting on Jesus of accentuating positives and trying to eliminate humanity is any happier, more content, or more at peace with itself. Today we are in the age of anxiety, of future shock, of epidemic frustration and alienation, and we wonder about Adam and blame Eve in the midst of meaningless, midst of plenty, unhappiness. And the flip side of the restless coin, we have become humanity's new Adam and Eve in discontent in this presently blinding, pursuing progress. We have become to institutionalize frustration. The root of the whole difficulty is our tendency is the opposite of irreconcilable, divorce from one another. However it may strike us, remains completely inseparable and mutually interdependent, simple. One could not exist without the other, as so sin could not exist without Adam and Eve. The point is the Codicia oppositorium, oneness and pairness and coincidence of opposites. What may be thought were totally separate turns out to be complementary to each other. Eve and Adam, or Adam and Eve, were complementary aspects of one and the same reality. Help me. To meet the needs and vibratory existence, their ultimate existence in their essence vibratory. The subject is their object. The crest of single waves, that single vibration, that oneness and pairedness, a single event expressing itself through opposite crest and trough. Their high and low point, their reason, reality is not found in the crest or the trough alone, but in their unity, inseparable aspects of one underlying activity, their vibratory ebb and flow of underlying energy and activity of their own perception of free will, something we call light, is really a light figure standing out against the dark background. What did Adam and Eve perceive when they looked into the heavens? Could they have perceived the brilliance of a bright star? What they were seeing is what their eyes were taking in was not a separate star, but the entire field of bright stars plus dark. The background of darkness, without one they could never perceive the other. Light and dark, two correlative aspects of a single sensory, so there stands one aspect of good and evil. Could they not conceive complexity without simplicity, or attraction without repulsion, being aware of pleasure without pain? Those moments would never be able to come to realization that if they couldn't relate to the background existence of discomfort and pain, they couldn't possibly understand mutual contrast and alternation of their existence of awareness. To accumulate the positive and eliminate the negative, again, free will, good and evil, light and dark, Adam and Eve, was of choice. And the choice of good and evil, perhaps we can begin to understand why life is viewed as separate opposite is frustrating, and why progress has become not a growth but a cancer we give name to as spirit, trying to separate the opposites, clinging to those we judge positive, those pleasures and pains, life without death. When you die, you are dead. Good without evil, balance. We are really striving after phantoms without least reality, because our goals are not lofty but illusory. Our issues are not difficult but nonsensical. Adam, Eve, life, and death. Good and evil are so much each other's inseparables, and still many will not believe. This is only because we accept the boundary lines created through Adam. To say good and evil is an ultimate reality. The heart of Satan, deep as the pits of hell, we float in its infinity. In peace.